I've seen several videos on this. I've heard about this news and grumbling. I haven't found a whole lot of articles covering it. So we're just going to do more of a reaction style news this time. And the news is Activision is going after developers of third-party games, but the games are actually using their content to make new games. And gamers are really mad about it. And I think we can get into it. Maybe.
Another video here on the channel, and unfortunately I have, I guess what you could call maybe a follow-up video to one I made the other day, talking about how Activision had taken down a Call of Duty fan-made project called SM2, which was basically gearing up to be like the ultimate Call of Duty game that would be free to play, it'd be built by the fans with all of our favorite maps, weapons, game modes, and whatnot from all of the different Call of Duty titles. And obviously, you know, the COD community was pretty disappointed by this news. I feel like
So, right out the gate, the gaming community is mad because Activision stopped a company from using their game and content and IP to make another game with content that is their IP. Now, we can let this play out and see like all of his points, and I understand the community being disappointed. There's a lot of love for the COD series. People want to play the earlier maps and styles, but at the end of the day, COD owns all of that, and you can't just take parts of a game to make a new game and not expect the developers of that game to be mad that you're not licensing it or anything like that.
rightfully so. A lot of us, thousands of us even, were waiting for SM2 to finally release. And
that's 100% correct, Matic Piers. That's kind of the core of the issue. Is Activision is well within their rights because the game that these people are making are using the official assets of previous iterations of their game. These games are owned by Activision. You can't just slice it up and reuse it however you want. That's the very heart of DMCA or whatever tradecraft you want to apply right there.
And unfortunately today we're doing
I don't
a
know what they
follow-up
thought was
video
going to happen.
talk about how Activision
really
has
don't.
struck again. And at this point, man, I think the only way that it can be described as is Activision is actively destroying the Call of Duty community. And there's no other way around it at this point. Like, as somebody who's played COD for...
It's not that they want to destroy their community. It's copyright. It's not DMCA. You're right. You're right. DMCA is same, but different industry. It's copyright. They're not trying to destroy the community, though. They want the community to be on the newest servers and systems, because at some point, all of these old server and systems for older games start adding up money with minimal return. So it becomes more and more expensive and a compounding issue where they can't afford to continue running, operating, and moderating servers of previous generations of games and continue to release new games at the same time. So does the community want new games with new content, or do they want all the old servers to stay up forever? And how do you monetize that situation? Activision has no real easy answer here, but the easy answer isn't to let people just steal their games and put them up as new games.
For the majority of my life at this point, man, that's how long I've been playing Call of Duty. For someone who's been playing it at like that long, I can very confidently say, man, this franchise is just not where it should be, and it's not where it not even remotely close to where it was even like 5 years ago when we thought that, oh my God, Call of Duty's on the decline. Like, it's not even there anymore. And with moves like this, Activision is actively destroying and killing fan interest in their older titles that realistically is something that should be benefited from and like encouraged by Activision. But we kind of know
But when you talk about like, okay, they're drumming up interest in their old games, but Activision isn't running the servers for those old games, and they're not going to get money from people being interested in their old games. So at what point, or how does it benefit the company to entice people to get interested in their old titles by allowing a company to make a brand new game out of those old titles. Yes, please infringe upon my copyright, said no company ever.
At this point, how Activision works, man. Like how they take things, how they kind of make their decisions. It's almost as if Activision is like fucking allergic for the background to making the right decision when it comes to these kinds of moves, right? So a tweet came out today that said, "We have received a cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the X Labs project. Because of that, we are also going to shut down BO3. Thank you for all of your support." So this is like kind of two different Call of Duty projects that have been shut down with this kind of move. So X Labs, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like a Call of Duty client that allows you to safely play on community servers across, like, I believe it's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Ghosts, the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 maybe, and I'm pretty sure like they were trying to expand it and add more Call of Duty games over time. So basically it's like a client you could download that would let you play on community servers for older COD games. Now if you've played any of like the actual Golden Age Call of Duty games, or even really any COD game that's like more than 2 or 3 years old in any time, you'll realize that like they're just unplayable. Like if you tried today to, I don't know, boot up your PS3 or your Xbox 360 and you tried to actually play like Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 or any of that, you're not playing. Like it's so unsafe. It's full of hackers and modders. You can't get a legitimate
This goes back to, again, do you want new content or do you want old game servers to stay up forever? Because as a company, it costs real money to keep those servers up. And at some point, they're going to monetize and put all their effort into the new content and let those old servers kind of time out and reduce moderation. Like you can't have the staff to fight hackers, the same level of staffing to fight hackers for the very first iteration of the game as you do this modern game 15, 20 years later. Even back in the day, Modern Warfare 2 was hacked to hell. Like it's a constant struggle, but you can't put the time, effort, and assets into older servers that you do your modern servers, because that's not where the bulk of your player base is. It's unfortunate, and I understand why gamers are mad, but that doesn't justify a gaming company hacking and slashing and issuing out your old games as brand new content. It's theft. While you might want the project because you're a gamer and you enjoy those games, that doesn't mean that the project has any feet to stand on.
Lobby. There's like 14 people in the world in these games. And the reason that really is probably is because they're unplayable. Like Call of Duty's had a long time reputation for like their games being unplayable after a certain point. And they don't ever do anything to fix it. Like they don't ever actually go back and update these games and keep them alive. Whenever a new Call of Duty game comes out, they just put it to the back burner and then eventually just abandon it altogether. And so the Call of Duty community had a solution to that, to keep the games that we all know and love alive and allow us to continue to play the games that we've all enjoyed for even decades for some of these games now. Instead of allowing the Call of Duty community to do that, Activision has been on this like killing spree recently where they've just been wiping out all these projects. So they hit X Labs, which had all these COD clients, but they're also shutting down BO3. Now you might be like, oh, well, Optimus, what does that mean? Because I know that this is still like not really widely known like SM2, but the people behind X Labs and whatnot were working on a client for Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on PC that would allow people to play Black Ops 3 multiplayer on community servers. It would give people unlock all, and basically it would just give us that actual Black Ops 3 gameplay back without all the hackers and cheaters. Now, if you don't have Black Ops 3 on Steam, you might not know or understand how much of a security liability this game has been over time, but it has actually been genuinely unsafe to play Black Ops 3 in recent time. Like, I'm pretty sure there's literally menus, like mod menus that people have that can just boot off random YouTubers and streamers. Like, people playing in games can have their identities and shit leaked and like their IPs.
Serious concerns, raises a risk, understandable, but I mean, I guess if that's the case, we have to stop playing the game, or I don't know what the solution is there necessarily, but I understand the concern. That still doesn't give the right for companies to use all of this IP. I guess one big question in it is, in order to play these games, And in order to enjoy this new content, so to speak, do you have to own the actual original Call of Duty game that it's based on?
Stolen.
He's got a
people
lot
are
wrong
actually
there.
getting fucking like booted offline and fucked
Huh.
with and IP pulled and shit on like Black Ops 3 servers because the security is so fucking like completely outdated and not cared for anymore. Like Activision and like Treyarch and them are not sitting there updating BO3, keeping it alive and whatnot. You know what I mean? They're actually just kind of, they let it go. I mean, they might issue a patch here and there to keep it a little playable because it's still really popular with like the custom zombies community, but they don't give a shit about the multiplayers in their games after a certain period of time. And like obviously
And as much as I hate to say it again, rightfully so, they want people on their newest content and their newest game variations with the most player base. That's pretty standard across the board for almost every gaming company. When the new thing comes out, they try to move the player base to the new thing. This guy is giving us bad info. What's the bad info? Well, only in a legal sense. IP address is not your identity, but it is personal info. Interesting. Splitting hairs, I guess, but probably not wrong, Doug.
COD fans, we've come to know and love a lot of these games, and even for me, like Black Ops 3 is one of my favorite CODs of all time. I absolutely love that game. Like, it was so fun. It was great. The only thing I didn't like, obviously,
it's not
the
dangerous to have someone's
system,
IP. But you could be disconnected or DDoSed. Yeah, I mean, those are still like not fun issues, right?
The maps, the modes, the weapons, it was all fun, man.
It's
like, there was
not as bad as like, you know, someone taking out a mortgage on your house, identity theft, but it's still not great. Clearly need to be interviewing Doug.
Content to grind. Ranked wasn't horrible, and you know, like, it definitely was a better time for Call of Duty than what we're getting now. Like, the new CODs that come out are just so unpolished, they're so mediocre, they don't have basic features at launch. The maps are pretty much all horse shit. It's not the same COD that these other games provided us. Like Black Ops 3. If I could have the opportunity to go back and play Black Ops 3.
Valid point. This is a valid point, but this is a point on the larger gaming industry as it stands right now. We are not getting the polish, refinement, and delivery of modern games across the board. This is not Call of Duty specific. This is not genre specific. This is the modern state of gaming right now. So while I understand his complaints, it still doesn't justify someone stealing the IP of Activision to bring back or keep the longevity of older games that Activision is moving away from or trying to modernize or update.
Again, I would be playing Black Ops 3 again, and that's why I was so excited for the BO3 client to come
GTA
out,
Online
and
has
I was
the same
excited for
problem.
this project in general because like,
Sounds
these
about
guys
right.
did great with X Labs. If you've never used it or played it, it's pretty decent. Like, these guys know what they're doing. It's not like these are just some random.
Just about any online game could probably have that problem. If people are dedicated enough or want to take advantage of that fan base, like, it's always a give and take. Like, there's always going to be the people that want to hack the system versus the people that just want to play the game and enjoy it. It's a never-ending battle, really.
Randoms who just started up their computer for the first time. These are very talented people who've been working on these Call of Duty fan projects. Even when it came to like the folks at Plutonium that worked on, you know, the BO2 and, you know, the MW3 client and stuff like that, right? Like, these are very talented people who realistically could have jobs, I feel like, in the games industry. Like, they understand what make games fun. They understand the back end of things and how to work on these things. Like, they understand building the networking and all these other things and the community relations. These people are not dumb. They know what they're doing. And instead of doing...
They know what they're doing in the game world, just not in the legal sense of stealing IP.
The smart/right thing, Activision constantly just fucking cuts them down, man. And like, it honestly pisses me off because like, these people are genuinely trying to keep games that we love up to speed. Like, and you know, I understand what people are saying when they say like, oh, but bro, you gotta understand Activision's perspective. I get it, because people are thinking like, oh yeah,
Do
Activision,
you?
they don't want to lose money, they don't want to lose sales on the new COD games because people are going back and playing the old ones. I understand that, right?
All
Activision,
valid
they want to
points.
protect their IP and protect their money and their interests. But
Absolutely
at the same time,
correct.
you don't have to do that by destroying your community and attacking the people keeping your games alive, bro. Like,
Then how do you protect your IP? How do you protect your IP if not by preventing people from using your IP without your permission? He says he understands, but what is the solution there that we're all missing?
I literally have a solution right now that would benefit everyone making these programs and making these clients. It would benefit Activision and it would benefit the players. Everyone would make money. Everybody would get to work on the stuff they want to. The players would get what they want. Here's how it goes. If I'm Activision, what I do is I create a client slash program slash game or whatever called Call of Duty Classic. I just pick up all these fan projects where they're, you know, keeping BO1, BO2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, BO3, all these classic Call of Duty games alive, right? I pick up all of those. I integrate them into the Activision team slash network of programmers and whatnot. We re-release all these games on actual Activision supported servers that we keep up with. And then Activision can sell it for fucking money. Like, they can actually just sell it. And guess what? They don't have to worry about people in the community.
And that's all viable. However, that is Activision's decision, not the people making whatever spin-off that they're making. Easier answer. Oh, you guys started talking about that IP. I was talking about intellectual property, not the IP port specifically. I was talking about how they protect their intellectual property there. Different IP. Yeah. There's two IPs in play here. Master Chief Collection, but COD. I mean, the company can do that. That is an option for Activision, the company. They're the ones that have to decide this, not people who want to remaster all these projects.
Doing these projects that could take money away from them because they are in control of it.
Maybe it's in the works.
Property. It's already their games. It's already their franchise. Like, this is literally, it feels like a no-brainer move to me. Like, why would you not want people
does sound like a good idea,
passionate about your gaming franchise,
I would be on board with that,
to be the ones working on it? These guys know how to get this shit done. They know how to keep Call of Duty thriving. Lots of these people have been playing Call of Duty for just as long as the rest of us, if not longer, man. And then they just get kind of dog walked by the company, by Activision, because, you know, they're scared that they might lose some money. They might lose some of those microtransaction dollars and those fucking, you know, battle pass bucks or whatever, skin bucks for the modern.
I mean, yes, but it's not all about, well, it is all about money, but where do you draw the line? When does a game become old enough that someone's just allowed to steal it and do whatever they want with it? What's the age limit on this? Like, once a game hits 10 years, anyone can make whatever mod they want to keep it alive. 5 years, 6 years, 2 years after release, after the next one's out. Like, what is the line? There's no clear delineation. So you have to stop it almost for all of them in order to protect the newest stuff. That's kind of the point. And again, yeah, they're not going to make any money off of these alternate versions as it stands now. So, like, if they went with that idea that he talked about, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. But that's up to the company to make that decision, and I think it's a good idea, and maybe they should look into it.
Warfare game. Truth be told, this is the kind of stuff too that makes me just not want to support the newer Call of Duty games. Like, Activision has the gumption on Steam right now to be charging $60 for a game like Black Ops 3, or even like $60 for like COD Ghosts, BO2, like Modern Warfare 3. They're charging like 40 or 20 for some of the real old ones, but the majority of the old Call of Duty games on Steam are like $60, and their multiplayers are completely unplayable due to the security concerns, due to the rampant hacking, due to the abandoning of these games by the studios that developed them. And instead of, like, you know, addressing that,
I mean, you say their only argument is don't piss off players. It's the entire crux of the argument is companies bad, players good. And I don't necessarily know that that's true. I think there's bad actors on both sides. And we say it depends if they're trying to make profit or not. Like, are they though? Like, does that matter? So like if someone steals the intellectual property or content of an old game, but they don't charge any money, because I don't think one of these was not trying to make any money. It was all supposed to be free to play. If you're not making any money, does it make the theft of the franchise any more palatable? Like, it's less egregious because they didn't make money off of it, so obviously it's fine. I don't know.
That demand that's there, right? Like, Activision just fucking kills
Because
off these communities.
Just because they don't charge money and they don't make money off of it doesn't mean that there's not potential for the company to lose money. You see what I'm saying, Mischief? Like, just because they don't charge money for the product doesn't mean that Activision doesn't have the potential to lose money. And again, another aspect that isn't very clear is, do you have to own, let's say, Black Ops 2 to play the new variation? And if you don't have to own the base game to play their modded new iteration, well, then it's just theft and people are giving away that version for free. And that's a problem too, because that is a financial loss or damage.
Projects, and just kind of sticks a middle finger out to their fans. I just don't understand it, because it's very clear to me, at least, that there is very good demand.
You think you would need the base game, but this isn't a modding issue. They were making a completely new game that mashed a bunch of the Call of Duties together to make them playable now.
Like, people still want to play Black Ops 2.
Well, I don't even know if this is a straight mod. Oh, maybe. Like, I think I did an article. I think I actually got yelled at by YouTube. I think I got a notice from YouTube to turn my shit off or not be able to watch anything. So that was
Warfare,
fun.
Black Ops 3. People still want to be able to play them, but we can't because Activision abandons the game. So then we try to make our own solution as a community, and then Activision destroys that. It's like, what exactly do you want from your community? Do you want to make the money from?
Yeah, legally looking at it, if you don't make money off it, you can still get in trouble because it's about the proof of damages. So it's all a civil case and you have to prove damages. And essentially all Activision has to say is they didn't make any money, but we potentially lost X dollars because of them taking this stuff. Activision isn't even that bad. Nintendo's way worse. Nintendo goes after anyone and everyone for everything. Accurate.
Us and do it yourself and have the opportunity to fucking flesh it out and, you know, keep your own intellectual property? Or do you want your community to do a better job at keeping your games alive than you? Because let's be real,
there's
man,
so
like,
many like details and all of that.
It
all
was
those
infinitely
laws and
more
everything.
playable to play something like that than it was to try to go back on your PS3, like I said, and run BO2 on the disc again, right? Like, you just can't do that in modern day, right? And it's sad because we would love to go back, right? We would love to go back and enjoy these games. If I could go back and play Black Ops 2 again every single day and just, you know, enjoy myself.
I think people say that, but the gamer base at large doesn't go back, if that makes sense. Like, it's always fun and nostalgic to say I want to go back, but like if GTA didn't remaster the original trilogy, I would have never gone back to replay it. I just wouldn't have, because the graphics aren't there. It's not as pretty. It's not as engaging. Gamers love to be nostalgic about the old variations of games, but I don't think a majority of gamers actually want to go back and stay in those older games for extended periods of time.
I absolutely would. It's a
I could be wrong on that, but I just,
Call of Duty games were phenomenal.
A majority of gamers aren't doing it,
and the community recognizes that. That's why Call of Duty's player counts have been drastically falling in recent times. People are more and more unsatisfied with the game and product that we're getting, and you're seeing more and more desire to go back and play these older COD games. I mean, it's really just, I don't think, a coincidence.
I don't think it's a coincidence. Part of it's nostalgia, but also part of it is, I think, like, the genre as a whole may be kind of not on its last leg, but it's always looking to change because it's been rinse and repeat. Call of Duty, all these first person shooters, they've been the same game for so long. And the first person shooter multiplayer is just a really competitive space right now. Back, 10, 15 years ago, there were like 2 or 3 players in the space. Call of Duty, right? There were 2 or 3 players in the space, and now you have so much more with Overwatch, Valorant, so many other variations and iterations of that genre. So the genre's bigger, more saturated. Yeah, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. There we go. And now the gaming space is so different. The genre is so different. It's so much more saturated that, like, yeah, numbers are down, but gamers have more options. And on top of that, there's not that much difference between a lot of the way these work. It's because they don't change. Exactly. Or they don't charge. And now all 3 are hot garbage because newer competitors came out and found a way to make variations of that genre that are more appealing to modern players. And the big 3 just kind of rested on their laurels and said, we have this product. Everyone loves this product. They're going to buy the new product. And they didn't look at ways to revolutionize their genre. They just kept trying to do the same thing.
But instead of working with their community and doing what they should be doing, Activision has decided to just shut these projects down, because that's what you do, right? Instead of just working with your community to, make the best outcome for everybody, attack them. Say fuck you, destroy their projects, and do it for the sake of money. All right. So anyway, now that this video is pretty much over, the last thing I really want to say to you guys is make sure you go ahead and log into your Call of Duty accounts today and spend some Call of Duty points on the awesome new cool weapon skins, bundles, and cosmetics that you can get in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 right now, which is, by the way, the best Call of Duty game of all time. Hopefully Activision will fly me out to play at one of the next little events or whatever they have. So
probably
with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch
stuff.
at SubTheOptimist.
I watched some of his stuff. Optimus, he's not terrible, but like now it comes full circle from their modders and their gamers. So end of the day, I think there's ways that Call of Duty can address this, or Activision can address this and move forward. But like, I think gamers are overreacting to the news because Activision is well within their boundaries to do what they're doing. And I understand that gamers don't want that to be true, but this is getting blown up way more than it should be. And it just kind of is what it is. It's unfortunate. If you like the Call of Duty series, then I mean, you might find this disappointing, but they're going to continue working on the next project instead of propping up all these other ideas. You can subscribe, do this stuff. You want all that? All of that. Hey there, it's Skeg Broggy. Thanks for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and follow me here on Twitch for more awesome content. Link is in the description.